Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. I'm so excited to have this dear friend on the show. This is Hope Richard. She is with RTRlaw.com, scrolling across the bottom. The title of her show is so cool because before we went live, she and I have been talking about the holiday season and doing business and what we do and what we sacrifice. And so the title of our show is I May Not Be for Everyone, but I'm Good for Some. We're going to talk about that. Welcome, Hope. How you doing today?
Hey, Ted. Good. Thanks for having me.
I'm super excited. You always make me laugh every time we're together. You've got a great sense of humor and a great approach to life, I think.
Oh,
It's always a joy to have you around. All right, so I know that, but for the people who don't know you, give them a little background on you, kind of your journey from point A to point B a little bit.
okay. We'll make it. We'll hit the high points. My name is Hope Richards. I am a real estate attorney. I work for RTR Law, and then I am also the head and owner of RTR Title. So I'm just, I'm engulfed in the real estate world. It's not where I started. I started as a consumer protection attorney in Tennessee. So that's where I started.
No way. What
Yeah.
does a consumer protection attorney do?
I was a lemon law attorney, so I sued car manufacturers. It was little old me against like Ford. So I was not a good place for me to be, me against Ford as a brand new attorney. It was not good. And then I married a Florida boy who was in real estate. He went in business with a bunch of guys from Orlando, and I remember I couldn't get licensed, so I had to wait because you're licensed in one state, you got to wait to get licensed in the other state. I was waiting for my like ethical part to come through to make sure I wasn't a criminal, and I was unemployable. So a woman at a title company said, "Hey, do you want to learn title?" And I was like, "Nope."
No.
And she goes, "I'll pay you," and I was like, "Deal." So that's kind of how I got started in real estate and title. It turned into where all my clients just became either title clients or all my friends were in investment real estate. So that's how I ended up here, specifically in investment real estate as opposed to retail. Obviously, I do retail too, but I started in like 2010
Wow.
in investment real estate. So at the bottom, and then now we're circling back possibly. So that's how I ended up here.
I mentioned it. Your approach and the way that you do business and interact with people is really refreshing. We laugh every time we're together because I think you've got that sense of humor that I wish more people in our industry had instead of being so serious about themselves. There's way too much good going on. What do you think about the market right now? Tell us a little bit from the title perspective and investor perspective. What are you seeing?
I think that anyone that tells you that they are not feeling a market correction right now are lying. I'll just call you out right now. If you're telling me that you haven't noticed a single thing, things are a little harder, you're lying. We're all noticing it, and I definitely have noticed it. I mean, I work with hedge funds, and they have skedaddled. So I'm definitely seeing that. But I talk to some, because I work with hedge funds, I talk to some really smart people every day, way smarter than I'll ever be. And when I hear what they're doing and I hear what their projections are, then I kind of know where I need to move in my business. I hear a lot of people saying, now is the time to reach out to your database. That is if your database is very organized. Um, do you know what I mean? Um,
Understood.
yeah, and like you and I were talking today about how all the Christmas parties that you're going to, and I was like, "That's funny. I'm not going to a single one."
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask you again, like, oh my God, I don't even know how to respond to that in our world.
But that's the whole like, you may not like me, but I don't care. I have just changed. Like I'm not to the extent that you are by any means, but if there's a face to my company, it's me. If there's a face for the law firm, it's me. If there's a face for the title company, it's me. So it's always been me going to those events. But I feel like now is the time to really focus on those partners that have been with you, like
Yeah.
all through the years, who are going to support you, not your onesie twosies who kind of like spread the love with their files. No, I am investing my time on the people who are like loyal to me that I know are going to help me grow, not because I want 500 files. I want 100 files of people who are going to buy a whole bunch. Like
Right. Well, it's
that's
relationships. Relationships
it is.
matter. I have a TikTok coming out today that specifically speaks to that. And I think that during this past couple of years where it was we had the golden goose. I mean, everything was, they were basically printing money, I feel like, on a real estate transaction. A lot of people let their relationships go to the wayside because they became order takers, and they neglected, forgot, didn't develop new ones, didn't maintain, engage. And you're 100% right. I think it's so important to focus on the people that you have the relationship with. Like I told you, I shared with you, I have a party every night this week, Monday through Saturday. I'm already tired. I approach those differently, but I know the type who go in and they're like, okay, by osmosis, if I sit here at this party, I'm going to get 10 referrals, and they have no idea how to build a relationship. I love that you're focusing on the people that you do business with and you do business with well.
I'm even coaching my staff to do it. It used to be that when you walked into those events, chances are someone you were talking to could give you business. Yep. That's not the case anymore. It has to be someone who like knows what they're doing now. Real estate's going to get weeded out here pretty soon.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. So, there's nowhere walking into a room. The chances of someone giving you business are pretty good because everyone could get a deal without, no experience. You can land a real estate deal, right?
You could.
But I've even been coaching my staff. Our CRM has automated communication, because when you're closing that much volume, there is no way that you can send out every email you need to send. Titles in, talk to the seller today, they're still in a good mood. Like you can't do that. So I automated a lot. I turned it off. Like I literally went to my CRM. I'm still paying for it every month. I turned it off. I was like, no more. I was like, girls, pick up the phone. You have to start the email communication personally. So that's just money I'm wasting. But in the long run, the relationships the girls are having with the clients will pay off, I think.
I agree. And I think that 2023, I love what you said, because I do believe everybody's been impacted. Everybody has seen the shift, felt it in some way, shape, or form. But what you do with it and how you adjust your plan or how you do business is really where the rest of them are going to get weeded out. Because people don't adjust. They don't look at the market. They like to do the same thing, even though the markets are, in my opinion, completely different. I'm not a believer that the sky is falling, but I believe that the opportunities are in different places. And so growing and engaging and stroking your database, like you suggested, your contacts, the people that you do business with well, is so critical. So you mentioned that you have the girls pick up the phone. You have your team pick up the phone. What else do you do? Since you're not going to parties and you are the face, what is Hope Richards doing herself about those relationships? Are you having one-on-one meetings? Are you doing lunches? Talk about that.
I am doing one-on-one meetings with the people that I know are my biggest cheerleaders. So it doesn't mean that person is who sends me the most files per month. It is someone that I know trusts me, and I trust them back equally, and I also refer them. So it's people that they're my cheerleaders. If they say, hey, I need a real estate attorney, I 100% know they refer me every single time. So those are the people that I'm sitting down with. We're talking about where we feel the market's going, and I'm changing for instance, my education next year. It looks totally different than what I've done for the last 2 years. You will not see RTR put out a how to do Canva in 2023. You will not see none of that. No Canvas, no Instagram 101s. That's not happening from RTR in 2023. I'm changing all of my education to how to work in real estate investments. And that does not mean you go to an event where someone tells you how great the Burr method is and how they're raising capital. Wink, wink. No, we're not doing that. Why syndications are fantastic. That's not it. It's literally teaching you as an agent or even an individual how to invest in real estate and how to work with investors. Because if you're a retail agent who's been selling new construction for the last 2 years, you have no idea how to work with investors. Your mind will be blown. You'll be frustrated and you won't work with them anymore. So that's where I'm shifting my focus in 2023. Not because I think you're fixed to start getting great wholesale deals with $100,000 spreads on them. That's not it. It's because I think it's time for agents to put investors in their tool belts in 2023.
I totally agree. We started planning. Well, we've been planning, but my January calendar for education is completely different than what I did in 2022. And I'm not as far ahead of the game planning the entire year out maybe as you. But what I love about yours is when you get an email from you, it has here's what's upcoming, or you actually have it planned out enough because you know that people are looking for this kind of education. They're hungry for it because a lot of people are lost because of the market shift and they don't know what to do. And they don't want to go to another particular class, let's say about Canva. I'll pick that because you used it. They need something that's really going to get their business, get them into a new niche or a new market or understand, because I'm seeing a lot on the lending side. We're seeing a lot of people coming from out of state, out of country that want to invest in our beautiful little Central Florida world. And if you are not used to working with that market, you are missing out. And a lot of people used to turn their nose up at it or just thought it was too time consuming. Well, they've got the time now. And they should be really trying to figure out which of those niches that they can work within. All right. So this title, I may not be for everyone, but I'm good for some. Tell me, that's Brothers Osborne, and I only know that because you put it in the quote. Tell us a little bit about that.
Ever since I've been in real estate, I think it's because I came from that investor world where they only care about numbers. Don't talk to me. Don't send me an email. All I want to know is the numbers when my check is in. That's how investors are, and it's very fast paced. And I think that kind of set the tone for my personality throughout my career. So if someone calls me complaining and they want to get a release from the contract because they don't like the curtains, I'm like, get over yourself. You don't want me to bill you $4.25 an hour for that. But that's literally what I say, Ted. Yeah. So no one is going to send me a client that needs their hand held. You're going to send me a client that is like, they're usually like very business minded, short and sweet, to the point. And I'm also not, if you can't tell, I'm not exactly like frou make you feel good. I tell my law clients this. I'm like, you did not hire me to tell you what you want to hear. Exactly. You hired me to tell you the truth. Yes. And that's how I treat all of my clients. On the title side, I treat them like that. On the law side, I treat my business partners that way. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to keep your deal together and give you advice to make your business grow. That's it.
Perfect.
So, but some people don't like that. I mean, in the last couple of years, I've definitely learned that that's just not me. I've tried to go into the closing room with champagne and like closing gifts, and that it's not me. But you know what will happen? Your closing will be seamless. The communication will be fantastic. And if there's a bump in the road, 100,000% I can fix it.
See, I think people have been taught to love the frou-frou, and there's people who love the frou-frou and don't want the other part. But I feel like this market specifically, this shift in the market and the way that we're doing business and the business that we're seeing out there is demanding of exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen it lately.
Yes.
I've seen short sales.
Yeah, that's
like what?
I haven't. That gives me PTSD in so many ways. That is, but you're right. And I actually saw a lender. We don't have it, and I would be afraid of it unless I researched it. Where it was a not just an ARM, but a basic no doc, no nothing loan. And there's some out there. I know I've seen them. I swear to God, they still fax those because that's how old some of those companies are. But you're seeing a little bit more. So you really do have to be on top of your game, educate yourself, understand, and then the relationships, it goes back to that. If you're a realtor and you're dealing with a title company or a lender or anything outside and you don't know them, you're really taking a chance, in my opinion. When I see a pre-approval come in, or they really just do pre-quals come in, and I've never heard of the lender, and so I look them up and it takes me 6 or 7 different tabs to get the actual owner of the company, then I know that realtor has not done their research and that borrower is up the creek without a paddle. And so you really do have to focus on the people you know and the people you know who do things the right way, like Hope Richards. All right, Hope, tell them the best way they can find you, figure out more about you, not see you at any events this season.
But if you want to see me, I'll have lunch with you guys.
Exactly. I
Lunch
love
with
it.
300 other people. I don't want to do that. Okay, so if you want to get in touch with me, you can email me. That's probably best. It's hrichards@rtrlaw.com. And then the office number is 407-343-5152. There is a gatekeeper. So just say you heard me talking to Ted and I'll pick up.
I love that. You're amazing. You know, I love spending time with you. I could literally listen to you talk for hours.
What do you mean? What's different about it?
I love your accent. I love your
What accent?
You were like, what? Yeah, I love your sense of humor. I just love your approach to everything. It's no nonsense, but yet kind. You still have all of the good things rolled in there. Thanks for coming on the show. What a joy. Hope Richards, legal and title. Reach out to her, say that you heard her or watched her on the TED show, and the gatekeeper won't be quite as much of a gatekeeper at that point. Thank you. So if I don't see you, have an amazing holiday.
Have fun at your parties.